Yikes. Take a look at JD Vance's net favorable polling averages, or I should say unfavorable polling averages, and Donald Trump is pissed. And so what the Trump campaign tried to do is put JD Vance in front of a larger crowd. So they assembled a somewhat bigger group in Big Rapids, Michigan. It was a disaster. But let's take a look at these numbers. July 18th, the net favorable polling for JD Vance was negative 3.3, and you see that fell to negative 5.3, negative 7.3, negative 9.3, negative 9.1, and now negative 9.7%, and it just keeps getting lower and lower. And just take a look. Here's why. This guy is weird and creepy. You know, he's given this speech in Big Rapids. He's wearing the eyeliner, and he tries to make some strange joke about Pokemon cards. Here, play this clip.
He is, I will say, the best grandmother that my kids could ask for. They are 7, 4, and 2. Spoils them a little bit too much, Mom. No more Pokemon cards in front of 1,000 people. No more Pokemon cards. The kids have got enough.
Yeah, JD Vance, you're just not that funny. And then he tries to talk about, I'm going to have what the guys behind me are having. Here, play this clip.
I got to get whatever we fed these guys behind me. They're having a good time.
Again, JD, not funny, no comedic element at all there. Then here, JD Vance, he's talking about Vice President Kamala Harris, and he says, she's like the vice principal. Here, play this clip.
Now, Kamala, I've got two responses to that. First of all, that is not a very presidential thing to say. Is she the vice president or the vice principal? Warning about very serious consequences, whining at people for telling a joke instead of trying to persuade them that she deserves to be their president. I'm sick of people like that.
What? I mean, if this guy was at an open mic night, I mean, he would get booed off in a second. Here he is saying that Vice President Kamala Harris doesn't know who she is. Play this clip.
Now, I will confess that in some ways I have a soft heart, ladies and gentlemen. In some ways I feel bad for Kamala Harris. They don't. You don't. But I'm not sure that this is a woman who knows what she actually believes.
Seriously, JD Vance, you're the guy who sent this text messages just a few years ago. This is an actual text message from JD Vance to his friend. I'm not surprised by Trump's rise, and I think the entire party has only itself to blame. We are, whether we like it or not, the party of lower income, lower education white people, and I have been saying for a long time that we need to offer those people something and help, maybe even expand our appeal to working class black people in the process, or a demagogue would. We are now at that point. Trump is the fruit of the party's collective neglect. I go back and forth between thinking Trump is a cynical asshole like Nixon who wouldn't be that bad and might even prove useful, or that he's America's Hitler. How's that for discouraging? And here, JD Vance then says that really what Donald Trump's campaign is about is joy, and that Vice President Kamala Harris is offering fake joy. Play this clip.
And so, while Donald Trump is the people's president and Kamala Harris is running on a fake joy, Donald Trump is going to offer something very, very different. He's going to offer a very real hope for the future of this country. Hope that we can reignite our economy and bring back prosperity. Hope that we can raise our kids in secure neighborhoods with safe borders. Hope that we can renew the patriotism that binds us together as one.
Then he says that Vice President Kamala Harris needs to go back to San Francisco. Play this clip.
I promise you this. On November 5th, there is one job that is definitely going to vanish, and that is when we tell Kamala Harris, you are fired, and send her back to San Francisco.
Then he says that they've got the great Tudor Dixon, who's loses all of the races that she runs for in Michigan. And he awkwardly points and laughs. Here, watch this.
We've got the great Tudor Dixon. Where is Tudor at? I saw Tudor earlier. There's Tudor Dixon.
And just so we see who JD Vance is talking about, who he's calling the great Tudor Dixon, here's the great Tudor Dixon, folks. Play the clip.
Audio, and you were asked, what about someone who was raped by somebody who was, 14 years old as a victim, why not allow that person to have an abortion?
I've talked to some other legislators about this, and they've met the same people that I've met who've told their story of once this child knew they were in their second or third trimester. And I am that child, that I've talked to those people who were the child of a rape victim, and the bond that those two people made, and the fact that out of that tragedy, there was healing through that baby. It's something that we don't think about because we assume that story is someone.
And then JD Vance is obviously very defensive about being called weird by Governor Walz, and then says Governor Walz is weird because he doesn't know how his kids are conceived. Here, play this clip.
Now, he lies about everything, of course. He calls me weird, but then he lies about how his kids were conceived. Who does that? That's just the weirdest thing I've ever seen. He said,
why are you talking about how Governor Walz's kids are conceived? I mean, Governor Walz did use a type of IVF. He used fertility treatment. And Governor Walz talked about how if IVF was banned, the fertility treatment that he used would not be allowed by law. And the Republicans are blocking bills that would codify the protections that provided the fertility treatment to Governor Walz. Why is that something that you're attacking? And then we've showed you this before, but some of the, JD Vance supporters, like if you want to know who are the people who actually support this guy, they're the ones bringing these little cases of JD Vance's semen with them, like fake semen, obviously, to these speeches, and they bring him and they're like, here's JD Vance's family kit, because JD Vance is attacking the fertility of Governor Walz. So they're bringing these cases of fake JD Vance semen to these speeches to show that he is fertile. I don't get it. I don't get it. And it's weird. Here, JD Vance again attacks Governor Walz and says, Tim Walz shouted, even when we don't fight, after Vice President Kamala Harris said, when we fight, we win. Here, play this clip.
I just saw that. Did you see Kamala's convention speech? Well, that was smart of you for not seeing it, but I'm in this business. I have to. Now, Kamala Harris said, when we fight, we win. This is one of her favorite taglines. And I don't know if you saw it, but then Tim Walz stood up and shouted, and even when we don't fight. That's what Tim Walz said.
And then he tries to make some another really lame joke about Vice President Kamala Harris showing up in a long red tie. Play this clip.
In fact, I've heard that for her debate in just a couple of weeks, she's going to put on a Navy suit, a long red tie, and adopt the slogan, "Make America Great Again." I think that's what. But we're not going to.
Yeah, this is some really kind of pathetic and just overall very, very weird stuff, folks. And so no wonder, if you noticed, all the MAGA people are trying to kind of push JD Vance out as well. It says now it's Trump, Vance, Kennedy, and they emphasize the Kennedy. By the way, just take a look at the front page of Drudge right now. Are MAGA rallies backfiring? Is cable news covering up his crazy? Yeah, it's another Drudge W right there. This time she, Vice President Kamala Harris, is the one driving the ratings. It's also this piece from The Guardian here. Are Trump's campaign rallies energizing his base or sowing doubt? Right there. I could just tell you, based on this JD Vance stuff right here, clearly sowing doubt. It's Donald Trump. Look at what he's posting today, Donald Trump. Photos on collecttrumpcards.com with random women who he claims bought his NFTs, which I do not fully think is accurate or real. So anyway, check that out. In good news, JP Morgan says the U.S. right now stands out as the only large economy in the world in which the GDP has risen faster than our estimated 2019 potential growth path would have anticipated. Oh, I got to show you this one too. JD Vance sent this email. I'm writing to you this message, Ben. This could be my final message that I send you. Strange stuff. Strange stuff. I'm Ben Meiselas, MeidasTouch. Hit subscribe. Countdown to 3 million. Thanks for watching.
Real quick, Meta just changed their algorithm to suppress political content. Please follow our Instagram at MeidasTouch right now as we head towards 400,000 followers so you don't miss a beat.